Clark Martin is used to people making funny comments about his International 6588 when he takes it to tractor shows.
A lot of them will stop and look at it. They'll wonder what it is. Why does it look so oddly? Why has it got a long nose? There's a lot of comments on it. A lot of people call them Snoopies or Anteaters. Some people think they're ugly. I don't think they're ugly. I think they're nice looking. I think they're cute.
Of course the 6588 looks different. That's because its design is unlike any other tractor. In the late 1970s, IH shocked the ag market with the release of its 2+2 lineup. Engineers combined one two-wheel tractor with another to create a new four-wheel drive model. Unlike conventional four-wheel drive tractors, the 2+2s had their cabs located behind the articulation joint, while the engine was mounted ahead of the front axle.
On most four-wheel drives, they articulate in the back, underneath the cab. The front and the back are identical. The front axle, the rear axles are straight. They're all straight axles. It turns by the actuator in the middle, the joint where it turns. Articulates right in the middle of the cab, right in front of the cab, so the front axle and the rear tires, everything just follows each other. It turns shorter than a regular row crop tractor. When it drives a 6588, you got to be ready. You got to be used to that long nose when you're driving, because you can tear the fence out when you get to the other end. Because your front moves and your back don't.
The 6588 was perfect for the farmer that needed a row crop tractor with two-wheel drive performance and four-wheel drive traction. It weighs more than 16,000 pounds and is powered by a DT466B diesel engine that produces 200 horsepower.
It's a powerful tractor for its size. The DT466 was the most reliable engine. The International made, they put them in the trucks at farm tractors. It was a good lugging engine, you couldn't outlug it. And they come up in 82 to 83, they changed it to the B series, made the bearings and everything wider, updated it. The motor's up toward the front of the engine, so it does the weight distribution and everything. You don't need added weights to it or nothing else. It's got the 3-point hitch and the heavy drawbar. It's ready to do any 3-point work or pulling equipment, whatever you want it to do. All the hydraulic controls are easy to the operator. It's got a 4-speed transmission. You got high and low, so you really got 16 gears. I mean, it's a handy tractor if you understood the theory of the tractor. I like them. They're easy to see, easy to back up to the implements to hook up, because you're right there over everything.
Although these 2+2 tractors performed well, there were a couple of factors that led to their downfall. International was in the middle of a financial crisis, while the farming recession in the 1980s hurt sales.
They only made 642 of these in 4 years. That's when International Harvester was having financial troubles and they couldn't really get them produced. And the farm economy was not very good, so they just didn't make very many. For out of 642, I'd say there's probably 300 left.
When the J.I. Case Company purchased International in 1985, it stopped production on all tractor models above 80 horsepower.
With Case, they threw out all the 2+2s, did away with that series and stayed with what they had as a rigid frame four-wheel drive.
Clark first noticed the 6588 when he was a teenager and decided right then he had to have one of his own.
I've always liked the 2+2s ever since I was a younger lad. I used to work for a dealership in Batesville, Indiana. We had a field day when I was 15 years old, and I had one out and I plowed with it. And I told him then that I'd have one someday.
It actually took more than 3 decades to track one down, and it turns out he didn't have to go very far to get it. A farmer just down the road had one for sale.
When I came across this one and I got in it and drove it, I decided right then that I was going to take it to Greensburg. The game was over. I had to have it. Well, no price, yeah, it was mine. It wasn't going to matter. Got in it and drove it 10, 11 miles back to the house.
Since then, Clark has also added a 3588 to his collection. Although he's a fan of Internationals, Clark also has some green in his shed. His dad was a John Deere man, and Clark has collected a few of those classics as well. Clark is also president of the Greensburg Power of the Past Club, which hosts a big show every summer featuring all tractor makes and models.
We put it on the third weekend of August. We have it out to Decatur County Fairgrounds. We usually get 300 to 400 tractors. We get some hit and miss engines. Anybody's welcome, whatever you have. You might get a little smoke blown to you, but everybody has their own flavor.
Although Clark has already found his dream tractor with the 6588, he's still on the lookout for other items to add to his collection.
The hunt's still on. I've got the fever. I've had the fever for the last 28 years. It just gets you insides wound up. I have a lot of fun. I'm always thinking. I'm always thinking about it every day, all year long.
Hey there, thanks for catching Classic Tractor Fever. If you'd like to see more red power, be sure to check out these other classic stories. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button to keep those classic tractor stories rolling.